Hello everybody, welcome back for some StarCraft 2 action with Pip in the background. Doesn't usually happen. Usually she goes away right when I start casting. She's like, what the hell? She starts doing the voice. And then she leaves. We're here for the Homestory Cup 25. It's EonBlu going up against Highdra. And I always try to get a couple of games of players that didn't make it to the playoffs. Because everybody's seen the playoffs, but not all group stage matches are shown. And so I just want to look at a couple of them. We already looked at one of Hydra's games versus Fjant. And I was interested to see how he did versus EonBlu. Mostly I was interested to see how EonBlu did versus Highdra. Now, not to rag on EonBlu too much, he's been to 3 or 4 Homestory Cups technically. One of them was Invitational. And I think he went 0-7, and then 0-2 at the Invitational, and then 0-6. And then I think it's now this one, where if you go 0x, I think it's 0-5 in this one. So the groups keep getting smaller at Homestory Cup. See Nexus before Core from Highdra coming out. And slightly misplaced Natural was blocked by a Proby Boy. Or Girla, I guess. However the probe identifies itself. Could be any gender, really. Out in space, there's lots of genders. Although, I don't know if that's likely. Is it likely that another species would have multiple genders? Because if you look at like a molecular level, we have like chirality, where... yeah. You're like right-handed or left-handed, or... it's always kind of like a binary. I guess there could be a neutral state, so at least 3 genders in that sense. But there always seems to be a receiver and a giver. A female and a male. For example, your cables, right? There's a... to some side, some cables have 2 females, some sides have 2 males. Some cables are just like throughput, so they have 1 male, 1 female. Oh well. We see speed coming out from the Zerg. I don't know how we got into the male's female. Oh, and Hydra's going for a Void Ray. Now, I like Void Ray openers a lot. You don't get the pressure of the Oracle, which is a little weird on Oceanborn specifically, where I'm like, well, you already went through the trouble of blocking the hatchery here. And I don't think Protosses are afraid of 12 pools nowadays. So it's mostly just about the disjointment, using the adepts to really get an advantage here. A couple speedlings from EonBlu coming out. They don't see a third base. That's a little sketch. Usually you want to have the third base down by now. But Hydra's been favoring slightly later third bases. And this Void Ray is going to find at least one Overlord. It's going across the map. Is it A-moved or is it move commanded? I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I can't find the... oh, it's A-moved and it just barely missed that Overlord. Lucky Overlord. Well, we do find this Overlord with the Void Ray, and this is why I like the Void Ray. You can kill Overlords that could go into your base, and then you can do any amount of builds behind it. Now, I personally really like the Tempest build. Just gonna say it, the Tempest build is cool. I would probably hate playing against it, but I love watching it, because it's cool. But, oh my god, EonBlu still has 2 Overlords just around, just chilling. And this Void Ray, I feel like, isn't accomplishing that much across the map. It's nice if you can stop a little creep spread. But after this, I just kind of wanted to, like, check for a 4th, and then go Overlord hunting at home. Or just build, like, a Phoenix now. Because a Phoenix really fucks up a Zerg. Like, if you see 1 Phoenix, like, it's not like 1 Viking where you're like, oh, it's 1 Viking. If you see a Phoenix, you're like, is this guy making multiple Phoenix? Do I need to make a lot of Lings and a lot of drones right now? Add my gases on way later than usually? Void Ray's now chilling out, making sure there's no 4th base over there. Oracle at the other base How many drone kills have we seen? Only 2 from that Oracle. Third base is now up for Highdra. It's a little late. And the probe count isn't super high. But he is going for +1 attack, +1 blink. So not the cleanest execution. But all pathways lead to Rome. We see a Roach Warren for EonBlu. We see an Evo Chamber. I like that he's hiding all of those. Difficult for Highdra to spot. And now a bunch of Adepts walking across the map. But I felt like I was expecting to see these way sooner when the creep wasn't connected yet, speed wasn't done yet. Now it's just a slight pressure. These Adepts actually finishing up. They do get on top of the ramp. This one Adept is unlucky. But the rest of the Adepts, see? She's like, oh, he's doing the voice again. So the cat leaves. Bye, Pip. We love you, Pip. You're a beautiful cat. Meanwhile, 5 drones did give their lives, but the cat was more important. 3 oracles are now up in the air, and we're gonna have like a delayed blink +1 attack from Highdra. How many gateways is this? Is he going for like the 8 gate shenanigans again? It's 9 gates actually. So we've seen Highdra do this like a bunch of times. I think at least 2 times versus Fjand, or it's just the most memorable one. And I don't know how strong this is. He does have a third base behind it, so it can just be a committed +1 blink pressure into building 2 robos at home, and then going from there. We're getting +1 armor and charge as well. So I would love like 1 round of stalkers here from all the gateways, moving out, and then teching behind it. That would be great. Oh, kills the Overseer, very nice. The Overseer doesn't even see all of the gateways. You'd expect him to see all of them, but Overseer's not a lot of range. I guess EonBlu should have, just before the Overseer died, used the siege mode. I don't know if you get the burst of vision then. How fast the burst of vision comes. Now look at this. Nice move out with the Stalkers. And clearing all of the Lings out. He's making more Stalkers, more Gateway. And he seems pretty committed actually here. Highdra. Very committed. I'm more of a fan of seeing just a bunch of 2 robos going up behind this. But we saw this build versus Fjand, I think even on the same map, and Fjand just kind of crushed it. So we're gonna see what this looks like. This Ling has been spotted. Highdra is making a bunch of slow zealots to try and reinforce. We get a pylon in the front, so this is kind of a slow burner here from Highdra, which I don't hate. He's using stasis wards. He's getting a pylon up, could even get a gateway, making more and more stalkers and zealots, and just gateway man and try to outvalue. I would also just not hate a couple shield batteries then. He has a lot of gas though, holy moly. Could have made a couple less probes and pulled them from gas if this is what it's gonna be. Or just make a bunch of sentries right now. I don't know, looks like it's just a plan on the fly, right? Like, if you plan this all in out, he would probably change a couple things. Well, EonBlu, though, has a pretty high supply, fighting down a ramp, but... Oh, now a lot of zealots come in. EonBlu has to slowly but surely retreat. Not sure if he wants to put the Ravagers or the Hydras in front. Well, neither, really. The Queens now come off the line as well. Transfuses are thrown down, but Highdra busting through all of those soft Hydra Ravager units, just barely not enough frontline for these Zealots, and +1 armor has been finished as well. Now the drones come off the line, and that's when you know that it's all Ogre for the Zerg. Bunch of Roaches do spawn. Hydras are about to spawn as well. +1 attack, not even done yet. We do have melee, but the Lings are long gone, and all we have left is a bunch of Roaches. EonBlu, I thought you were gonna hold this for sure. But he walked down the ramp a little bit too much, and suddenly the arc for Hydra was just a little bit too much. I mean, he hadn't even seen the... he saw this when he moved down, so probably just didn't realize how committed this was. Did see 0 gases, though. A little bit of a clown fest, but Hydra gets out on top and takes the first game versus EonBlu. EonBlu still with 0 wins in total in the Homestory Cup, in his whole Homestory Cup career. And we're here for game number 2 on Crimson Court with EonBlu and Highdra. Highdra going for the fast scout once again. And EonBlu's just going for a regular opener here, so he's going to have a third base that is quite far away from his main base. Assuming that it gets blocked, but maybe takes the forward one. I would love to see that. The forward one with the Rich Geyser makes it pretty tempting to go for a Ravager bust here. EonBlu completely ignoring the probe, just going for a third base location, but not a forward one. I was hoping to see a little bit more, something a bit more spicy, but EonBlu just going to be trying to play standard here. Just trying to play solid. Now, before the action kicks off, you know what I'm gonna say. Sure that you are liking the video, yes, and subscribe to the channel. I've been having a lot of people subscribe recently, which you know, does wonders for my dopamine. So thank you very much. We're almost past my main channel in subscriber numbers, so I guess the casting channel becomes my main channel. Because, I mean, I haven't used my main channel in a hot minute. Just takes more effort. So yeah, thank you for that. The gas is down. The mining is up. Is this gonna be speed, or is it gonna be a cheeky roach warren? You could still do it, EonBlu. You could still do it. But, I mean, he put himself in a pretty good position in that first game. And then I thought it was a little weird that he went for melee. It's easy for me to say in hindsight, obviously. But he had roaches, he went for Hydras, and then he still went for melee, but I didn't see a Baneling Nest. So he had, like, +1 Lings, which is very unfortunate to have into charge lot +1 Zealots. Yeah, charge +1 Zealots. So, like, with the Ravager Hydra count, I feel like range would have just been so much better. And he did start it, but it just never finished. And then he overstepped that one time. Didn't quite realize how heavily committed Hydra was. Even though he had decent information on that. And then, I mean, Hydra just the slow burn into the blonk. That's how you get him. You're like, I'm gonna just slowly try to push this for an advantage, and then you just blink in with everything instead of slowly peeling away your stalkers, using their shields to maximize their efficiency. No, you can also just blink on top of your opponent. You know, it goes both ways. EonBlu gets into the main of Hydra, and Hydra's going for a Twilight, not going for a Stargate. Oh, this gives EonBlu a lot of information, even the Robo, and he's gonna see it. He sees the Robo. He even clicked on it. You can also, if you don't see it, you can just, like, alt-click it. I can't do that in the replay, but, like, ping it. And then you get the message what building it is. I've said this before in a cast, but it's the small things. So speed is about to finish up. We see a bunch of Lings coming out of EonBlu here. 14 more, 18 more. He's really flooding with Lings. Oh! Oh, no way! He's doing something real cheeky, and I'm loving it. I'm mech loving it. Puts a couple Lings at the front, making sure that he's not paying attention, and a Ling flood is coming in from the right. The drone is here. Make a hatchery. Do it. Oh, he's not doing it. The Lings are coming in. No shield battery. Now the Lings are everywhere. Resonating glaives only halfway done. Not a lot of Adepts ready, and the Lings are just flooding on in there. Dude, EonBlu with the build on Crimson Court. This pylon should have been over there, and Hydra just GG's out. EonBlu with the 1-2 tap. Surprise, mother trucker. I got you. You got zerged. That's good. Now I understand. This is a good base to take if you want to, like, sneakily mine that out. And Crimson Court, this is not Site Delta. This is not Alcyone. This is not the most standard map, so you have to think about these things. There's minerals here. There's a rich geyser over there. There's some rocks. Like, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And, I mean, he did a nice cheeky build. 23 drones. Just Lings, Lings, Lings. 2 queens. Just pressing the go button. And EonBlu gets his first win ever in a Homestory Cup. I can't really clap because I have these things that I use for my wrists. So my wrists are more flat with the surface of my desk because my keyboard is a little thick. So, I don't know. I've been using these things for like 10 years now? 8 years, maybe? Like, I had a lot of wrist problems at some point. So, I don't know. And now I just can't do it without it, right? Like, I have the gamer stain, if that makes sense. Like, this thing. Or, like, it's just always, like, secondary skin. Because you just keep rubbing it against the desk. I'm a fucking nerd, dude. And for game number 3, we are here on my new favorite map. It's Ghost River. And EonBlu's already messing up. He's making a drone. He's not 12 pooling. Fjant and Scarlet have both shown us that 12 pooling into a proxy hatch in the wall is the way to go. But we did see Highdra hold it versus Fjant. Spoilers. So perhaps EonBlu is kind of... he's on the ball. But now you're getting your hatch blocked. And you have to take this base. If there's a pylon there, and your base is being blocked, that's when you leave the ladder game. Right? Is that just me? Or am I completely right here, boys? Like, you come here with this drone? I mean, EonBlu just started a pool. He's actually so talented. Oh, I like this. Hydra's like, huh, there's no hatch. Is there going to be... because he hasn't been into the main. This could be a 12 pool. So Mr. Highdra might be panicking a little bit here. Now sees the pool. Sees the gas and only just drones there. Starts a cyber core anyways. I would have liked a Nexus before core here. But maybe Highdra has a plan. Maybe he wants to do a certain attack here. He's ready to make a gateway as well. Starts a zealot. I mean, this is all because he hasn't seen this. He sees a pool. Doesn't see a hatch. So he's starting a wall. Recheck? He's rechecking. Okay. So he does see it now. I think we're going to see a cancel on the zealot. But maybe not. Maybe he's going to go for a good all 4-gate. That would be cool, honestly. I mean, you've seen that it's pool first. So we do finish the zealot. We don't see a nexus here for EonBlu. Dude, what a clown fiesta this is. The probe finds those Zerglings. And Hydra's just playing so safe. Making double adept, getting the gateway research. No second gas. Good call. Now is going out for the nexus. And EonBlu is making a Roach Warren. I'm guessing this is a defensive Roach Warren, because he doesn't know what's up. Doesn't go back in to scout the nexus. Like, would have liked to see the Overlord be there. So EonBlu can't quite see the nexus there. He sees double adept. And they are going across the map. I want to see like 4 lings coming out and then just drones from EonBlu. But he's saving a lot of larvae here. He's going for roaches. He's going for bust. And Highdra only sends out 1 adept, not both. Dude, so... how do you say? Disciplined, I would say. Oh, he sees the Roach Warren. He sees the Roach Warren? He didn't see the lack of drones, but he can sniff it. He can smell it. And this adept, what does it see? It sees the roaches come out. It sees the roaches. It's shading back. And this is when, yes, the adept city starts. Adept. Shield battery city. Pylon coming down. We have a Stargate. I mean, if you get that 1 Void Ray, it's all ogre for the opponent. And we have 1 gas, so we can have a couple Ravagers here. If EonBlu stops making roaches, he has 1 Ravager, make it in the front. And he shouldn't lose too many lings to the adept here. These lings don't have to, like, they can attack a building. But, oh, nice surround on the zealot. And what is EonBlu targeting? He's going for the cyber core. But if you kill the gateway, it's just as good. No drones behind it. Oh my god, but you see the Stargate. You kind of have to drone here, Mr. EonBlu. Going for bust, making lots and lots of lings. Literally going for a bust. And I think if you kill the cyber core, that's pretty good. No gateway research. Oh, the nuclear battery has been committed. The Zerglings run in, going to the main. I like that. All these probes are now in peril. And we have 1 Ravager. It's getting targeted down by the Void Ray. And now the shield battery is not nuclear mode anymore. And a couple probes are going down, but this is very committed from EonBlu. 18 drones. I don't even know how many queens he has. He has 1 queen. This guy is O-Giga committed, and a lot of probes are falling, but there is a Void Ray. A second Void Ray is coming out, and, I mean, this feels good, but is it good? Second Void Ray now comes out, and that's when your units start dying twice as fast. Math. And suddenly you only have a couple lings, and you have 10 more in production. Oh, that feels bad. You want it to be like 5 drones at that point, because this is over. And a couple more lings. More lings even. What? I guess he wants to make lings because he wants to stop the adepts, but... And he GG's out. He was super committed, just trying to get something done. And Highdra takes game number 3 for all the marbles and wins this best of 3 versus EonBlu. A little bit unfortunate that he probably wanted to go for this build regardless on Ghost River, and that Highdra was kind of going for a 2-gate into core, even made a zealot. Like, he was playing super defensive and making a lot of units. And then he made 1 Void Ray, and that means this attack is Ogre. It's hard. I've had this before. I have GG'd out of games where I was pretty even with my opponent, but my mind was just like, I do this all in, and if it doesn't win, I GG out. And then you're just kind of blind to the fact that you've killed a bunch of probes. Or, yeah, I think back of me versus Agaham at the Homestory Cup 2, where I did a Nidus attack with roaches, and I killed a lot of drones, but he held. But he had, like, no economy, but I just didn't realize that I was in a fine position, even though I didn't have, like, roach speed. And he did, but he just had no economy, so I could just go take a third and, you know, make a couple roaches and then drone. And it didn't occur to me that I killed half his drones, so I was fine. I was just like, if I don't win, I lose. So I left the game, even though we were even on drones, and I think I was even ahead in an upgrade or something. It was just Roach Wars in ZVZ. Like, it just happens. In your mind, you're like, if this doesn't win, I lose. But especially in tournament, sometimes that is a crux, right? Like, it really helps. It makes the game easier for you. It relieves a lot of stress, where you're like, well, this is just what I'm gonna do. And that's why people do it, especially in tournament. Sometimes it's just wonderful. Just like game number 2, you just have a build that you're gonna do. And either it works or it doesn't. That's kind of cheese. But this specifically, I think I mean, you're still in an awful position, but you could play the game. We've seen Scarlet play a game on this map. I think it was versus Estrella, if not Trigger. I don't know. It's just one of those Protosses. And she just played from Hatch Tech for like 25 minutes. I think the video is like called 20-minute no lair, because that's literally what happened. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. EonBlu versus Highdra. Congratulations, EonBlu, on your first Homestory Cup win. Thank you for filling bracket and observing this tournament, or Homestory Cup 25 at least. If you have any tips for me, let me know. And guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and all that good jazz. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Also, this is video 150. Woo! We out here. StarCraft.